Gordon, and I'm here today with Rick Gualtieri and Steve Wetherell. We'd like to welcome you to another episode of Side Quest, the Upside Down to Authors and Dragons, in which we bullshit with each other and make pointless pop culture references while pretending that we aren't each secretly jacking off to Winona Ryder. Say, that reminds me of something. Guys, I think I just thought up a topic for today's show.
Is it jacking off to Winona Ryder?
Yeah, because I've already started.
Well, I already finished, and now I'm done with Winona Ryder now for at least like 10 minutes. Yeah, no, I could probably to that. And get
Have you gentlemen
that.
seen the, what do we call it? Fuck, now I forgot words. The
TV
Netflix, series Stranger Things.
I have heard of it. I have heard people speak of Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Is this a place where we can go to
Absolutely.
jack off to Winona Ryder?
Is that it?
Not
Tell
to be
us more
confused
about
with
this phenomenon.
Stranger's Thing, the upcoming Shingles story that I'm working on right now, which is kind of what led to me thinking of this as a topic. It's been fresh in my mind.
Please, listener, don't get confused between those things. Don't let your children get confused.
Oh,
between
no,
those
no, no.
things,
Let
especially.
let your children get confused. We want to hear what
Yeah,
questions they
another
ask
reason
you.
is my daughter. She's all her friends are telling her this is such an amazing show, so she wanted to watch it, and so yeah, my wife and I have seen all through the third season, and now we're watching it from season 1, and man, it's I guess this is just my opinion here, but it's a much better show in season 1. Wow, I forgot how good this was.
Yeah, I'm watching it again specifically because my daughter's gone into it too. I guess the kids just must be getting into it now. So yeah, it's given me an excuse to walk through it again. But it's a bit weird for me because I thought, why would these children understand the 80s at all?
Did you point out to your kids? I was watching this before you thought it was cool.
Oh no, I don't think I need to point
Even
out.
better, I fucking
Radio
lived
smoking
this.
is- I kind of. This is just what it was like in the 80s. We all had psychic powers. There were monsters and government conspiracies.
And our
Kids
parents didn't
don't
give
know
a shit about shit.
Yeah, and you know something? MTV played fucking music videos.
Get out.
I was trying to explain to my daughter. It's like, oh yeah, this the 80s nostalgia. You know, it's really good, isn't it? She's like, what do you mean? Oh, well, you know, all the John Carpenter references and Stephen King and Steven Spielberg. She's like, well, I don't like any of that stuff. So how do you know you don't like it? So I don't know what it is. So well, it's this. It's what you're watching, and she's just stubbornly refusing to accept that the 80s are an actual thing and nostalgia is an element in Stranger Things. It's just a show that the children like.
You know what, Steve? At that point, you should have said, "Let's be nostalgic for the 1880s. Get your ass to a fucking workhouse, you know, and don't bother me."
Get up that chimney.
Steve, you're watching it again from the beginning. Are you noticing are the pop culture references jumping out at you like they did the first time around? I'm barely picking up on them.
Yeah, it doesn't feel particularly ham-fisted at all. It's all quite naturalistically 80s, I thought. Again, I think that's because I'm so, not familiar with growing up in 80s America, just familiar with every single movie that came out of that decade.
Well, that's pretty much the same.
Well, that's the thing is, it does such a fine job of acting like it's been written by a young Stephen King from the 80s and directed by a young Steven Spielberg or a young John Carpenter. There are just certain shots and effects and atmospheres that you can tell they just watched the same movies we did,
Yeah.
which is fine. But I didn't think that would translate to younger kids because they didn't watch them movies, because they refuse to watch them movies because they think they know better than me. They don't know better than me. But they like it anyway, so I guess that's a sign of good, solid entertainment right there.
Yeah, I mean, even without all the pop culture, it's it's a solid monster story
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
crazy world where they don't have cell phones.
That made me think of it. It must have been so much easier to write decent horror and adventure stories Because I was watching season 3, and every 10 minutes, I was like, man, if they had Google, this would have ended a lot
Yeah.
quicker.
No, you're right. Like I have this horror story. I haven't finished it, but it's set in the 70s only because it's so much friggin' easier. Because like it's like every book I write, I have to find a reason why they lose their fucking cell phone. You know?
Yeah, that is a good point. We've all got supercomputers in our pockets now. In the latest season, we're like, oh, we need to translate this secret Russian message. It'd be like, beep, done.
Yeah.
Series over.
Mine's set in like 4000 BC. Oh, if only we had domesticated horses.
It's like where's Justin? Oh, find my friends. We know where he is.
Oh, I saw this thing. Why won't you guys believe me? Well, because nobody's carrying around video cameras with the 24/7 like we do today. Stranger things just would not happen in a modern environment. It'd be like, I saw this weird thing, now it's on the internet and everybody knows about it. Mystery solved.
Yeah, it's like guys, you want to play D&D? No, I'm gonna jack off the porn.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Mind Flayer would be like, oh my god, it's a mysterious threat. Now it's a meme. Now it's like somebody's made a porn out of it. No one cares. Now it's just part of the internet. I mean, the internet is probably the real monster here, when you think about it.
To be fair, though, the monster was skulking about, and the one person, you know, who happened to be near it did get a shot with his camera.
Yeah, but, you know, we got shots of Loch Ness Monster with cameras. If it doesn't happen on somebody's random vertical cell phone footage, then I don't want to know.
And well, also the reason that the thing is, Stranger Things wouldn't happen in this day and age because the Upside Down, which is kind of like the mirror universe, would have all of our shit. So the Mind Flayer would just be jacking off to Mind Flayer porn.
We might be in the Upside Down right now. There's like you know, we go across dimensions and like there's this happy world of happy people and
God, maybe we're the upside down
yeah.
monsters. If we ever get sucked into another dimension, it will be like we're the monster. These people will be like, and he came through, he kept on talking about jerking off to Winona Ryder, and I didn't know what to do. Here's some shaky cell phone footage.
He was orange and he was jerking off to his daughter and he had a bad wig.
You know, I'd like to think that's not entirely representative of our entire dimension. You know? Yeah, wouldn't it be weird? Somebody's kind of, when you get to dimensional interference, start picking up TV signals from another world, and is this the fucked up one? I could buy into that.
We go over to the other side and we meet, like, you know, the I guess the right side up, Robert Bevan, who's a successful and happy, clean, cozy mystery writer. You know?
Yeah.
With hair.
I just got finished with my pomegranate salad.
Would anybody like a sparkling water before we record this podcast?
Well, I'm drinking Bud Light. That's, you know.
That's nearly sparkling water. It's nearly a pomegranate salad.
Maybe that should be a Shingles at some point. It's like, you know, we always think it's like, oh, the evil alternate dimension, but what if we are the evil alternate dimension?
Yeah, that's kind of a, I don't know, tough job to pull off, but that could be really cool. Maybe too cool for a Shingles. Maybe like, you know, a legitimate work of literature.
Nah, it could be a Shingles, because at the end of the day, whoever the guy from our dimension realizes, you know something, you're all fucking lame. He jacks off in front of him before coming back home.
Maybe this is the direction that science fiction just needs to take. It's like Star Trek, but instead of clean-cut people discovering threatening and strange worlds, it's strange and threatening people just going where they're neither wanted nor invited.
Yeah. And they just show up and just get really fucking bored really fucking quickly.
Sort of like when you kind of, it's New Year's Eve and you just turn up to somebody's house party, and then you very quickly realize that you're the asshole.
Or when I turn up anywhere.
Yeah, it turns out that monsters are not coming here from their evil dimensions to like kill us. They just show up, see how fucking pathetic we are, and just troll the shit out of us because it's funny.
Oh man, that's existentially depressing.
Well, here's something that'll cheer you up. There's a tiny baby lizard on my Can Crusher log. It's adorable.
doesn't it see the inevitable here? It's inevitable Looney Tunes death.
And now there's a tiny little lizard all over the bottom of my Can Crusher, and it's a lot less cute. Yeah, maybe we are the wrong dimension.
Well, we'll find out by the end of the podcast if that lizard is still alive.
We were the mind flayers all along.
I just sent it to the Facebook chat.
Put that on the YouTube video of this. There's evidence that you didn't murder that lizard.
Well, I mean, yet. I mean, it's not like it's holding a newspaper with today's date, you know?
Even though it is balanced precariously on that murder log.
It's like taunting you.
I just want to say the Michelob Ultra Lime is that the box in the background. That was for my wife.
Whatever.
Likely story.
Ultra lime. Well, like ultra lame.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm on form today. So we were talking about Stranger Things.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Do we think this is like symptomatic of nostalgia culture in general? I mean, it does seem to me that we're not coming up with a lot of new shit at the moment.
Well, I don't know. Stranger Things is new shit, but I mean, it's, you know, just trying to tug at those nostalgia heartstrings or whatever, and I'm okay with that. Because, again, it's not a remake or a reboot of some previously existing work. It's a solid monster story set in a decade that a lot of people enjoy memories of.
And also, I mean, let's be honest. The '80s is also a pretty easy decade to make fun of.
Yeah.
Like, truth of the matter is, where we're living right now, we really have no cause to make fun of any other period in time.
Well, here's the thing about the 80s. I do think it is very convenient for horror and action because of the lack of fucks given at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just nostalgia. It's just, you know, fascinating to look back at that. And, you know, probably for my kids, they didn't mention it, but for me, I was like, fuck, if I would be letting my kids out like that. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That was part of, like, the most unbelievable thing for me. It was like, not that there's another dimension, but you kids are all just like fucking around after dark.
Yeah, I was the biggest fucking nerd on the planet, and even I would like walk out my door and be like, okay, I'm going out, Mom. When are you going to be back? Whenever the fuck I get back, you know?
Yeah, I mean that was what it was like for us. But if I did that now,
Yeah.
somebody would call child support services.
But I think it also, I mean, getting back to the horror thing, it also gives you like, I guess you don't have to worry so much if you're setting a story in the 80s, because now it's like, you know, everything is like, oh, if you say this, you trigger somebody. You say it. In the 80s, people just talked how we're just as awful as they fucking wanted to be. And, you know, I mean, let's be honest. Read a Stephen King story, you know, from like the 70s or 80s, and like you read it now and you're like, holy fuck, you know? But
Yeah.
this was like not uncommon for the way, I mean, even like, you know, the fact that a lot of his characters are like closet pedophiles or not so closeted pedophiles, you know, talking wise, he's not too far off. We just talked shit in the 80s and didn't really give a flying fuck.
Another thing, something that I've noticed that was jarring between my experiences in the 80s and my experiences now, it's something that, you know, with a lot of things, you live through the gradual progression and you don't know it. But then when something happens like a school bus, for instance, you know, I haven't paid attention to what goes on in school buses since I rode one. But now, like, you know, back in my day, we were just all shouting and laughing and throwing shit at each other and screaming. And but now, like, you know, my kids say, school bus is dead silent. You're barely allowed to talk. Yeah, and then when they stop, the bus driver makes everybody who needs to go across the street, they got to line up, and then she waves her arm across the windshield like a wizard or something, and then the kids are allowed to cross.
What happened to just letting them charge into the middle of the road,
Yeah.
get wiped out by them, like I did? Never did me any harm, except for the obvious harm it probably did me.
There's probably some gradual evolution of that, and I just didn't witness any of it.
You know, you know something. Going down a metal slide in a playground on a 90-degree day, that was a survival trait right there.
Leaving your skin behind like some KFC chicken wing.
Now we just do that on escalators.
Some of us just can't let go of the past. Yeah, I mean, no, there were very irresponsible times, I guess, compared to now. I don't know if it was all that bad. I mean, a lot of secondhand smoke back then. But nowadays, I just smoke, so, you know.
lot of secondhand hairspray back then.
A lot of casual violence, maybe a lot more casual violence than there is now. Yeah, and kids just kind of... That's the thing, I'm watching Stranger Things, it's like, oh, I'm going out. And then they just fuck off on their bikes. And like, right.
Yeah.
And then the parents are talking to each other, they're like, well, where's Will? Oh, well, fuck do I know? This is the 80s. We don't know where our children are. Kind of, yeah, I do remember it largely being like that.
Yeah, me too. Just, oh man, I'm surprised I survived some of it. I used to do stupid shit on my bike.
Yeah.
And you know, not on the bike, just like we had woods behind our house, and we went and played in the woods, and there's this like, I don't know, 15-foot cliff face. I don't know if I've told you guys about this before, but
No.
we dug a tunnel into the side, and it went back a good 10 feet or something, and we opened up into a little... I mean, that could have fucking caved in on us at any time.
And they would have never found you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we were kids, we were like, oh, let's go play at the quarry. And it was an old quarry that had been used as a dump. And we were like, yeah, that'll be exciting. We'll go to this dump. And I remember there was like an abandoned car and like old fridges. And we opened this fridge and there was a dead Alsatian in it.
Dead what?
A dead what?
A dog, a German
all right.
Shepherd. I didn't think that was horribly traumatic and terrifying at the time because that was just what
That happened every other day.
Yeah. But looking back on it, I'm thinking, man, you know, if I was going to write an opening scene to a serial killer's life story, I might just put that in there. Yeah, let's go play at the dump. Oh, look, an abandoned fridge. Oh, look, a fucking dead dog like a jack-in-the-box.
Or I'm just going to go walking on the train tracks. Yeah, I mean, there was a train tracks ran through my town, so sometimes the easiest way to get from point A to point B was just to follow those. And there were bridges, you know, and it was kind of like, okay, you just made it a point to get across that bridge before you got blasted.
Yeah, you get to point A to point B or point C really quickly and suddenly if you time it wrong.
Although, in all fairness, I never really understood how people walking on the tracks got hit by trains, because it always seemed to me, isn't it pretty obvious when they're coming?
Apparently not.
I know. I was wondering about that. I was like, am I missing something here?
The Stand By Me on the bridge.
You missed a lot of trains, Rick.
Apparently.
You might have just been
Or the trains missed me, you know?
Yeah, all right, Stand By Me. All right, it makes sense on the bridge, but maybe not so much for the kid they were looking for.
I heard that sound, that rumbling, thought it was thunder, you know? I put my umbrella up.
I just settled in for 40 weeks.
Like I was just doing what 80s kids do, falling asleep in the middle of the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really do think for a kid's adventure story especially, it really does make sense to me to make it nostalgic. But then I would have thought kids having adventures is supposed to... I mean, I get most of the kids having adventures stuff like E.T. are actually family films, but you'd think first and foremost they've got to appeal to children. And I don't really... I mean, the 80s has got to appeal like an alien world to a modern child.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think of like them getting together and like the friend going home at night and getting like sucked into like the Upside Down. That wouldn't happen now. The monster wouldn't find anybody because they'd all be home playing fucking Fortnite.
That's a good point. Some of the most unbelievable parts of Stranger Things are where the children leave the house. I mean, I can just imagine my kids hardly ever leave the house unless we forced them to. So all these kids are like, oh, let's go get on our bikes and do something. They must be sitting there going, bullshit. Weird third world country we're looking at here.
It is weird. I mean, I've had bikes for all my kids, but I don't think they've like left the garage for pretty much ever.
Oh man, that's true. Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like I should feel bad about that.
Yeah, like I think like my wife and I got our kids bikes simply because we thought that was just something that needed to be done, not because they ever actually asked for bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I mean, they have the internet now. It is better than a bike. Let's be reasonable.
It's like, well, you know, I guess like you could go out and see the world with a bike, but the internet has tits.
No. You could go out and see the world with a bike, but I'm not going to fucking let you.
That is true.
Here's the distance you're allowed to go.
Yeah.
You see the end of the block there where I can see you? Beyond that, it's like, it's the end of the map. It's all pedophiles.
I mean, it was back when we were kids as well.
Oh, yeah.
We just took our chances.
Yeah, I think our parents just didn't care. They were like, well, if he doesn't come home one day, guess I'll just smoke a pack of Marlboro.
Time to, we'll make another one.
That little life.
Make a stronger one.
We've got 6 other kids. Oh, no, 5. Oh, yeah, because Billy went missing.
Because condoms are for commies.
Son, we have reason to believe your son's gone missing. Do I look like a fucking Protestant? I got 12 other sons. I can't be expected to keep track of this shit. What do you mean the upside down?
Yeah, the only upside down I know is when my wife is biting that pillow.
You can just get away with saying that to a police officer in the 80s. It was a reasonable explanation.
Yeah, but then the police officers get away with just pulling out his nightstick because he didn't have a police cam there and just beating your head in.
Are you suggesting that the police officer sent around to investigate your child might just beat the crap out of your nightstick anyway? It was the 80s, man. It's just how things were done.
The 80s Mad Max, it was pretty much the same time period.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of the way they like dressed in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, if you walked out in the 80s and you saw somebody wearing that same shit, you wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Maybe they didn't go far enough with that in the show because you look at, I don't know how recently you guys have seen The Lost Boys, but the shit Corey Haim was wearing, like, what the fuck? I saw this and I don't remember it being so bizarrely. What the fuck?
And didn't we all have a belly shirt of like Rob Lowe hanging in our bedrooms?
Yeah, it's just what a normal, non-confused teenage boy did. He had his belly shirt, Rob Lowe, and then he went out to Gorp at an oiled-up saxophone player with his shirt off. It's fine, but it's in the movie. It's like, is no one going to acknowledge this? Is this good? The kids obviously got some questions, but no, I guess the vampire's probably interrupted what could have been a compelling coming of age story.
Yes.
Still, I know what a vampire is. This fucking saxophone guy, that blow my mind.
I don't understand what I'm feeling when I look at this saxophone player, but vampires, yeah, sure, let's do it. It's the fucking 80s. Yeah, different times when it was easier to understand the supernatural than it was the homosexual. Apparently. I mean, according to the Lost Boys. Wow, this podcast has turned a sharp left turn into... Weren't the 80s a bit fucking weird now that you think about it?
That's not too sharp a left turn.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, Stranger Things only works because it takes place in that decade.
Yeah, that's kind of a merge.
Or earlier. I mean, technically it could have worked in an earlier decade. But I guess the 80s are kind of one of that place where, like, it's close enough where we remember it. Technology was just kind of starting to, like, to enter into things. People had their Atari 2600s. So it's like not...
I think we were educated enough to know better by then. But we were too distracted by awesome things to actually care about it.
Well, speaking of awesome things, I mean, we probably shouldn't ignore that D&D played quite a hefty role in the show. And was that just another 80s thing, or was that perhaps why it was set in the 80s, or a reason why?
The only part about D&D that it's missing there is, like, that they need to have, maybe in season 4 they need one of the parents to, like, bring home a Bible and be like, you can't play this game because like, according to Jack Chick here, you're gonna murder your parents.
Yeah, that does seem irresponsible of them to leave out.
A lot of people have already kind of sort of murdered their parents, or at least tried to, without playing the D&D. So, I don't know. It just seems like they maybe need to join those two things up. Maybe that's what season 4 will be. It'll be like, there's been a lot of strange goings-on around here that you kids seem to be involved with. I think the common denominator here is that board game you play. I think that's what season 4 is going to be. Just a lot of those children getting electroshock treatment.
And they'll say, it's not a board game. And then, well, you had a board in the first season. That was a fucking oversight.
We can't expect the parents of the 80s to make the distinction between a board game and D&D any more than we can expect them to make the distinction between Satan and D&D.
I can expect the showrunners, however, to give a little more respect. That's all right. Maybe I'm misremembering things, but was there ever a board?
There was a board because they had to flip it upside down.
Well, I know that in the show, but I'm talking about in D&D.
There could be a board if you wanted a board.
No, usually you made your own board.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Maybe they made their own board. But, they, like, I wrote about this a while back. Just my dissatisfaction with how they played the game. It's like, all right, to win the game, I need to roll above a 13. And, that was it. That's how you win Dungeons and Dragons. You roll, it all comes down to one die, and you win the game, or you're fucked.
Yeah, I rolled a 14. Okay, game's over. What are we gonna do now? Let's go over and jerk off to his mom, who's Winona Ryder.
Well, another thing the 80s movies did a lot was simplify things, ignore technicalities to make them more awesome and convenient for cinematic experience. So that's entirely in keeping. Riggs and Murtaugh don't have to worry about paperwork. These guys don't have to worry about.
Yeah, but paperwork's boring. We want to see more D&D.
If you want to watch like 4 12-year-old kids play D&D,
listen to us.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. I mean, people, they know where to go. And the D&D, it was flavour. And to be fair, Stranger Things has done a lot for appreciation of the noble art of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Appreciation.
I think they were as fair about Dungeons and Dragons as they were about the Russians. So.
All right. No, I'll give you that. Wow, the fucking Russians. There's these criticisms of the show will both be heavily featured in the upcoming Strangers thing.
I appreciate the fact that they were trying to leverage in that kind of. I think the first time I ever heard of what D&D was and heard anybody using the terms was E.T. because they were playing it at the beginning of E.T. And that was sort of the first time I ever heard of that when they were talking about zero charisma and they were obsessed with goblins.
God, I haven't fucking seen E.T. in probably 20 years.
No, I haven't either.
I have no desire to rewatch it either.
It's fucking classic.
I know
They
it.
tried to They tried to remake it so it's felt less like a horror movie at the beginning. Because
Wait, what? I don't remember this remake.
Yeah, they did the same as they did with Star Wars when they were trying to put extra scenes in it.
Oh,
and
was this the one where they changed all the guns to walkie-talkies or some shit?
Yeah,
Stupid
they
shit.
photoshopped out the guns to walkie-talkies.
Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing of that.
But they also changed the pacing of the introduction, which used to be very dark and creepy, particularly because we had a pirated copy of it on VHS. It was super creepy. And they just changed the vibe of it so it was less menacing. Because I remember being shit scared for the first 20 minutes or so of E.T. I thought Elliot was definitely going to be eaten by that horrible monster.
Yeah.
But then he didn't, which was nice.
Because of shit like that, I have grown to despise the whole concept where directors like, well, here's the version I really wanted to put out. Fuck you.
Yeah, bullshit.
Fuck you getting older and feeling guilty because you had people, you just decided to make a movie about people being shot in the face.
Yeah. Oh, Han didn't really shoot first. Yeah, fuck you.
That's not even the case with Star Wars, though. That's, putting extra dinosaurs and shit in your movie with stormtroopers clumsily trying to ride them. No.
No, bollocks.
Double fuck you.
Yeah. You set up that shot for a reason back then, and now you doodling in the corner with your CGI nonsense is just distracting from the artistry of a younger, better suited man.
And look,
Shut up,
this is how
George
Jabba the
Lucas.
Hutt was meant to look. So much worse than he originally did.
Don't pretend that you're just not trying to squeeze in a little fucking extra things to make people buy your movie for probably the third time.
See, that's so much worse to me than the ET thing that I'm just hearing about now. Yeah, all right, switch out your guns for walkie-talkies. I don't agree with that, but I understand your reasoning. That Star Wars bullshit, though, that was just, squeeze out a little more money. And make it worse.
If they'd done the HD remake and tidied up all the effects and sound and everything, that would have been fine. But the fact they needed to, squeeze in these extra things and hand didn't shoot first. What the fuck are you doing, man?
You know, George Lucas, I would have been much happier if you had put all of your money into the invention of a time machine for no other reason so you could go back in time and all those people in that first showing of Star Wars, you could just walk up and down the aisle and take a piss in their face. I would have respected that a lot more.
Well, it's a baller move, let's be fair.
Hey, you don't even need to go through all that, since it's not possible. But I mean, I'm sure most of those people are still alive. You can have a party, invite them all, and then piss in their face.
So here, try the hors d'oeuvres. How are the Swedish meatballs? They're little balls of my shit. Because fuck you.
I mean, we haven't really got into the motivation of why he'd want to do that, but neither do I understand the motivation of why he wanted to put in that extra Jabba the Hutt scene.
I can understand the temptation there. He already had the footage. But no, it was shitty.
Yeah.
Some things should be left in the past.
Yeah, don't even get me started on hey, here's the last scene of Return of the Jedi. Oh, it's Hayden Christensen standing there. Instead of the original old guy whose name I don't remember, but was much cooler.
Billy Joel.
Even though we only saw that guy for 10 seconds, I'd much rather see him than Hayden Christensen. Stranger Things, it does rely heavily on our, love of maybe not the 80s, but the movies from the 80s. I mean, the whole aesthetic is kind of like spliced and diced from movies we loved from the time. But apparently it does just stand on its own feet because kids seem to really like it. So
yeah, I mean, I thought that was a good gimmick to go with. At least for the first season, I had fun. I barely remember anything from the second season.
Second season had its moments. Sean Astin, he was good.
Yeah.
Did I remember a name correctly there?
Yes.
You did.
Excellent.
I just know him as Mikey.
It had that pointless Elle joins a street gang moment.
Yeah.
That was very 80s. There was a lot of street gang moments back in the 80s.
But season 2 also had the Justin and Steve team up, was just pure gold.
Yes, that is right. They were the bromance team up of the season. Yeah.
That was season 2?
Yeah.
I thought that was season 3.
Well, no, they played upon it more in season 3, but it started in season 2.
Okay. Yeah. Season 3 for me just got too goofy.
I don't know. I enjoyed it still.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but it's just
The thing is, they're at the stage now where it's kind of they've got to keep stacking this shit up. It's only going to get more goofy.
Yeah. But Steve Harrington, all right, he's like a pretty big douche that kind of redeems himself, but watching some of the shit he said in the first season now again, not really redeems himself. But I mean, to go from that character to this goofball working in the ice cream shop, I don't know. I don't buy it.
Well, teenagers being pricks wasn't unique to the 80s. And I think we all need a prick turned not so much of a prick redemption arc now and then.
All right, not so much of a prick, but like total goofball. All right, for we also recently watched Monster Squad lately, and I forget the character's name, but the older cool kid,
cool kid, yeah.
that smokes. Yeah, he was like he defended the nerds in the beginning. I still have no idea why he had any interest in joining the Monster Squad. Of the,
Well, I remember watching that when I was young enough to think that cool kid. I was like, wow, he must be like 26 or something because he is cool as fuck. And I watched it back and it's like he's just an 11-year-old in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
These kids are gonna get eaten, man.
Well, the thing is, they also play on that in the movie because he's cool to them, but he's nothing but a dork to the sister.
I was thinking about. I put this message out the other day on Facebook. Those who follow me on Facebook, don't know if you heard of Facebook, Facebook.com, and it occurred to
/
me.
Authors and Dragons.
No. I'm promoting myself now, man. I'm doing this for me. But it occurred to me, we've been making this joke for like 20 years now. Wolfman's got nards, and it just occurred to me, wolves have got nards, men have got nards. Why wouldn't a wolfman have nards? You fucking amateurs. And now I despise the Monster Squad. And I hope that if there is a sequel, which there inevitably will be, because that's just what we do now, that they all die. Anyway, we can carry on.
Sequel to the Monster
Please,
Squad.
dear.
There's gonna be a fucking sequel,
And it's
to the
gonna
Monster Squad.
ruin the fuck out of it.
It'll be like, oh, it's 30 years later and they're all washed up, but Dracula's return, it's gonna happen, and there's gonna be a Wolfman's Got Nards joke.
I think that's unruinable. I think it's just so corny that anyway that no, I think that's safe.
No, it's
Well, no.
the
No, I
original
have to
will
do it.
always be safe, but the sequel will definitely, if they do a sequel, it will ruin the legacy. Because that's
Yes.
what a lot of these sequels do. They just come in and you can try to forget that there's a Highlander 2 or 3 or 4 or fucking 5, but you know deep down they exist, and it's kind of like it just makes you bitter because of it.
Oh, holy shit. Have you seen Highlander 2, Bevan?
No, I barely have any memories of the first Highlander.
Oh, you've got to watch Highlander 2. I mean, we're talking now like, all these remakes and sequels and missing the point of the original. But Highlander 2 just took a movie that a lot of people really liked, still really liked, and went, how can we really fuck this up? And it just springboarded into a giant asshole of failure.
Like the movie.
Was that any worse than any of the Jaws sequels?
Yes. The Highlander 2 might be the worst sequel.
Yeah, like honestly, I would have had more respect for them if it was a 2-hour movie of the director just waving his dick at the camera, going "fuck you for liking Highlander."
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that was the subtext of the second movie.
Yeah, because at least the Jaws sequels, like they kind of almost like they almost like knew that they were awful.
I don't think Highlander 2 knew what the fuck was happening. I certainly didn't rewatching it.
Actually, I will take it back. The Exorcist Part 2 might give it a run for its money for most awful sequel.
Yeah, so we can say what we like about the 80s, and we're all nostalgic for the 80s, but the 80s had some of the best movies and some of the worst fucking sequels.
Yeah. Look at where we are now with superhero movies. We are in a golden age of superhero movies. Whereas go back to the 80s and watch anything with like a Marvel or DC character, and you will just want to stab your eyes out with a fork.
Yeah, that's fair. The technology just wasn't there. Well, it probably was. They could have just put Bruce Lee in a Spider-Man costume and made a fucking awesome movie.
Well, the technology was
That
probably
would be
there,
cool.
but I think the cocaine was also there too, and they liked the cocaine a lot more than they liked everything else.
Well, Batman was 89, right? I mean, that's maybe on the edge, but
Yeah.
I thought that
The
was
way
really
I
good.
see it, the turning point of 80s movies into 90s movies was Die Hard, 88. That's when we got kind of that late 80s, early 90s. It's its own kind of time period.
Yeah, we should do side quest. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I have that argument with my kids every year.
Do you win the argument?
Well, we fucking watch it.
There we go then.
Yep.
Sounds like you won that argument.
Yeah.
It's you get a choice. You could watch Die Hard
Excellent.
with me, or you could go without your phone for a month.
Yeah, I mean, we have that every year. Let's watch a Christmas movie. It's like, is it Home Alone? Is it Die Hard? Is it Bad Santa?
Well, one of those three I don't let my kids watch.
Yeah, well, that's why they've only got a choice of 2 Christmas movies.
2 of them are horribly violent. Well, no, I guess all 3 of them.
Okay, kids, sit down. It's Christmas Eve. We're going to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night like we do every year.
Yep. And then The Passion of the Christ. Just to get the whole, spiritual message across.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning you wake up and thank me for not getting you any presents because because your life's better than that shit.
The Passion of the Christ, followed by Bad Santa, and then that should teach you a thing or two about reality. Merry Christmas, and then Home Alone, just so you know that I could leave at any time. And that's the Christmas entertainment schedule.
Yeah, think of your life if I left. It would be like Home Alone, except they'd be pedophiles.
It'd be like Home Alone, except we're not rich.
And you don't know how to do all that shit.
Yeah, and you're not competent. And I'm not rushing home to fucking find it. If I've already got my plane ticket, it's your problem.
Yeah, think of Home Alone, but with the ending to My Girl.
Yeah, I'm not getting in a fucking van with John Candy. John Candy's dead. Anyway, Merry Christmas, God's sake. Well, that wasn't specifically about the 80s. That was just about ruining Christmas. So I think we've...
But you know what? But you know what won't ruin Christmas? Authors and Dragons Con coming up in a couple weeks.
Ooh, man,
It
that
might.
was another sharp left. and yeah, Bevan's right. We could ruin Christmas if we want to.
Oh, not us. I'm just saying, you come out there, it's Vegas, you make some bad choices.
Or you make some good choices and you go home and you realize, holy shit, my year peaked in September. Fuck you kids for being a disappointment.
Sitting there for dinner, candles are lit, turkey served. Man, this is bullshit. I wish I was still back in Vegas at Orphans and Dragons Con.
Meet your second mom, Sapphire.
It's the real meaning of Christmas.
I'm thankful for all of you, but at the same time, none of you fuckers are Drew Hayes.
And Sapphire is the gift that keeps on giving.
At least for me, anyway.
It's like, honey, I really like being married to you, but something, Sapphire would suck my dick with no questions asked for, and all I do is hand her a 50.
It's just a simpler arrangement. At the end of the day, isn't that the true meaning of Christmas?
A bag of crank and half a sandwich.
It's turkey and cranberry sandwich now. Just the holiday spirit.
And realizing your peaked much sooner. But speaking of Authors and Dragons Con, it's coming up really quick.
Speaking of it, because it naturally came up.
We were supposed to talk about Orphans and Dragons Con at the beginning of the podcast. It was going to be
I know, but I
bonus
had
section.
my introduction that I wrote.
I know, and I didn't want to step on your introduction. It was a lovely introduction. And that's why we're doing this sharp nosedive into a different topic.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Steve, just take this part of the audio and re-edit it at the beginning.
I can't do that. That would compromise the wonderful introduction.
Pretend that left turn I just made was actually something natural. You know how to edit audio. Fix it with magic.
I'll just fix it by asking the audience to pretend I fixed it. But they've been around. They know what our deal is. Sometimes we have a cohesive segue into different topics. Sometimes we just smash into a wall and pretend it was what we meant to do.
And sometimes we don't even pretend. It's like, do we have anything else to say on this topic? No. Okay, then it's either change the topic or you can listen to 20 minutes of silence.
I mean, there are other podcasts you could listen to, but we will sit here for 20 minutes in stone cold silence.
So I'd like to think, especially our patrons, they're who we love very much, but I like to think they're they're invested enough to be like, I'm paying for this shit. I'm listening to this 20 minutes of silence.
Yeah. No, I would hope so. But yeah, I mean, the reason we took that hard left turn into it's nearly time for Authors and Dragons Con. It's because it nearly is time for Authors and Dragons Con.
Yeah, we're about a month away, huh?
Yeah. We're nearly our 100th episode. 100
Wow.
Authors and Dragons episodes.
Let-
There's 100 hours minimum of our quote unquote adventures on the internet once that happens.
Just think
That's
that
pretty
that is
special.
like a full week of someone's life that they will never get back.
Oh shit! Imagine if somebody out there just make them listen to it consecutively, 100 hours of it. That's gonna fuck someone up.
Clockwork Orange shit.
Yeah. Another great film from the 80s. Or was that the 70s? It doesn't matter. The 80s are behind us. I mean, they always were, but I meant specifically in this podcast.
Authors and Dragons Con is ahead,
Yes.
Yes, that's the
but
future.
not too far ahead. So get those tickets.
Unless you're a lamo who's listening to this at the end of September,
Yeah,
in which
case,
I hope there's a lot of regret in that listen.
yeah.
Hope you're enjoying not having gonorrhea.
Wait a minute, is that something we're building into our con schedule?
It's like, yeah, you don't have the memories of of authorsanddragons.com, but at least your balls don't itch.
That itch will stay with you long after the memories have faded.
Speaking of ball itch, though,
Sharp left turn.
we wanted to
This
talk
is-
about the things we're doing to prep, and just yesterday I ordered a whole bunch of new packs of underwear.
That's a solid move.
I just scratch.
I've ordered myself a new stand-in Firemaster t-shirt. I'm getting prepared. I'm building up my improved stand-in Firemaster costume.
Oh, I saw that. It looks good.
Nice, yeah.
I think you're missing something without the Sharpie drawn on abs. But we're going corporate now.
Yeah. So we're going up in the world. Sharpie's not going to cut it anymore, Bevan. These people expect a certain level of professionalism and dedication.
Yeah, where's your fucking production values?
I did design it so it looks like a Sharpie. Just like, a better Sharpie. Like,
Star Wars all over again.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's got like abs and dinosaurs and shit in the background.
It's a Sharpie as drawn by Gentronome.
It's a mass-produced corporate stand-in Firemaster remake for the modern generation, which is in fitting with the way all other media is going now. I can't be held responsible for this, Bevan. I'm just going with the flow. Soulless flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably the extent of my preparations. I've ordered some books. I'm taking a suitcase full of books and sling them at some people.
What else? I made some buttons. And I know. I think you, Steve, have made Authors and Dragons buttons. I've just made, my own personal bullshit buttons, like generic RPG that stuff.
I haven't done shit. I just have buttons left over.
You got underwear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Attach the buttons to the underwear. There you go.
Why don't we have Authors and Dragons underwear?
I have designed some underwear that I haven't put out publicly because, one, I'm not the greatest designer, so they didn't come out as well as I like. And some of it's a little bit problematic, perhaps.
I'm thinking we do need like Authors and Dragons, boxers with Hail Toreg across the crotch.
But yeah, mine's got like Rod of Wonder and
Nice.
and Bag of Holding down a little further below. But then, oh man! But yeah, the problematic one. I made a pair of women's underwear that says "portable hole."
That's only problematic if you're a square. That's classy, Bevan.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, well, give props to me. I didn't put these out yet, so I drew a line in the sand and haven't crossed it yet.
But you are going to cross it.
Well, yeah, if I could design better.
So it's not the morality of the message that's stopping you crossing the line. It's just you haven't quite got it where it needs to be yet.
Yeah. But for now, I can pretend it's the morality.
Yeah. Well, you can hold on to that for a little bit until you don't. Make some serious money with Portable Hole. Dungeons and Dragons sexist knickers.
And just to be clear, that was KNICKERS.
Yes, that's right. Yes, not underwear thieves.
No, I was just making sure you weren't saying the N word there.
No, you see, because no, I'm not even going to try to explain it.
Yeah. Let's just back the fuck away from that one.
Yeah. Get right off of that one.
Jesus, Steve.
Yeah, that was
You lecture me.
the old problematic accent coming through there. Right, so everybody's set then. We've designed our problematic underwear. It's not problem. You can have Portable Hole underwear for dudes too. In fact, I demand you make Portable Hole underwear for dudes.
I did. Well, I could do that on the back of the underwear. They allow you to design the front and back, but I put Horn of Blasting instead. But yeah, Portable Hole could go there. Then
Well, no, a Horn of Blasting is good. But, if you want to sex things up a bit with your novelty Dungeons and Dragons underwear.
Tensor's floating dick.
Oh, good one.
You just paused to write that down.
I don't know if that's Dungeons and Dragons IP though.
Well, the dick part is not.
Well, no, the tensor is perhaps.
Well, tense is an actual word, isn't it? My dick is tense. Now it's tenser.
Yeah, just leave off the apostrophe s. Tensor floating dick.
Yeah.
I think you got
This
it.
is when the magic happens. When we brainstorm.
So the Robert Bevan line of luxury Dungeons Dragons themed lingerie available at the Orphans and Dragons Con, as modeled
Oh, probably not.
by the cast.
No, definitely not.
No, that's not a sound business decision. That was never going to fly.
So back to Vegas.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
back to Vegas. I mean, that was sort of about Vegas. That was just a weird little Robert Bevan rabbit hole.
Portable rabbit
Portable
hole.
rabbit hole. So, other than Dungeons and Dragons related sexy underwear, what has everybody else been doing to prepare for Authors and Dragons Con in Las Vegas? Rick, do you have your own line of underwear?
No, I'll just be happy to wear in clean underwear.
So wait a second. You're buying new underwear because your old underwear wasn't
No,
clean.
no. Because
How
here's
often do you buy underwear?
no. Here's the thing.
You might want to invest in a washing
I know
machine.
we're only going to be there for a weekend, but I think I mentioned last time I'm thinking about doing a cross country trip to actually get there instead of just flying.
All right, yeah.
So this is less for because I can't go. I don't have 2 pairs of underwear to last fucking days in Vegas. This is more to make sure that as I'm driving, doing cross country, doing whatever vlog shit I'm doing, that I'm not sitting there going, God damn, these are 3 days and it is not comfortable.
That's a good point. I mean, I'm only going to be there for 4 days. I intend to be taking double underwear because I understand that it is hot in Vegas, and nobody wants that stank.
Yeah. You also might shit yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always take +1 pair of
Yes.
underpants just for that eventuality. Because I imagine I'm not probably going to do it like every night, but you never know, do you? So
No.
No, that's smart. That's one of those things like, your mom teaches you, always bring one extra pair because you never knew. Now your mom normally didn't say because you never know when you might not when you might shit yourself, but she implied it heavily.
Yeah, the implication was there. I've been raised right. I'm taking an extra pair of underwear at least. But
You know all those strangers kids things on the bikes had a backpack with 2 extra pairs. Yeah, if you're going out to fight monsters, yeah, you bring the extra underwear.
What was the old mom
Good
thing?
advice.
What if you get into an accident? If I get into an accident, I don't care if people see my dick.
No, that was like, what was that?
I mean, that's the stupidest reason to say have some clean underwear. It's like you gotta change your underwear and have clean underwear in case you're in an accident and somebody sees your underwear. How about just you gotta have some clean underwear because of all that fucking bacteria on your balls, mum?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if the accident is that bad where you can't move, you probably shit yourself anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Or what is like going to be like, okay, let's bring him for emergency surgery. Oh, damn, that's some them some crusty draws. Wheel that motherfucker right out of here.
Well, we were going to prioritize him for surgery, but have you seen his underwear? Jesus. Put this fucker back in the corridor.
It's like, we're going to make
There
sure
were skid marks next to the skid marks.
we're going to make sure you have an open casket funeral just so people can laugh at your fucking crusty underwear.
Oh, open casket with no pants. Fuck you, kid.
So has anybody got anything up their sleeve other than a spare pair of underwear?
I carry it up my sleeve.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of panic on my end, like, like 2 days before I leave.
Yeah, probably. I'm anticipating that. I've got some buttons made. It's going to be some buttons, and I've ordered some books, but really I haven't. Actually, I have got other things planned, but they're going to be a secret. I'm not giving them away on this podcast.
I gotta admit, my brain, like, I've been working so hard to finish these 2 books I'm in. My brain has been fucking mush for everything else, and I really need to pull it out of, jumpstart it or something to get it moving. Because, yeah, it's like we're a month away, and in my mind, I'm still like, yeah, it's 3 or 4 months away. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. What about September? Seems like, however close you are to September, it still feels like months away.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's not the next month for long.
Like, it's weird because when we were planning this out, it didn't seem like it was an issue, but now I'm realizing that between Dragon Con and this, I'm missing my middle son's first day of college, and I'm gonna be missing his fucking birthday.
Wow.
and I'm like, so now I'm like, it's like kind of like I'm looking forward to this, but at the same time I feel like shit by looking forward to this.
I kind of feel like shit on the opposite spectrum because I'm bringing my whole family with me, and that's expensive, and they'll probably be bored and nagging me like they do at every convention that I bring them to, and I swear that I'll never bring them to another convention again, but I do every time.
This one's in Vegas.
Well, that's part of it. I think we've established that they probably won't be going to Con Carolinas next year because, yeah, they've seen as much of Charlotte as they're going to see while I'm doing a convention there. Mm-hmm. But they've never been to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. Yeah, my wife's Korean, so it's exciting for her to see a new American city, and same for the kids. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say, it's like, my wife is Korean in Vegas. It's exciting if you're Korean.
The rest of us are all bored as shit. The Koreans seem to like it still.
She'll be bored as shit because I don't have money for her to gamble with.
That's fair.
That's the other thing. It's like, it's like this was a bit of a harsh summer, so it's kind of like, I'm like, all right, make sure I have money to eat.
Yeah. Well, I just don't gamble because I am a naturally unlucky man.
Yes.
So.
Well, I don't gamble because I just don't see the point of it.
Yeah, same here. Like it's one of those like just to make everybody here happy. I might be like, yeah, it's like, okay, I threw $1 into a slot machine and lost it, But yeah, and also I'll be perfectly honest. Socially, I'm a wuss. I remember last time I went down to Vegas. I went down with two of my friends. We're like, yeah, we're gonna hit the tables. We're gonna do that. We didn't do any of it because we're pussies. We played video slots for like an hour and then left.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sit at the bar and throw $20 into a video poker machine and just get fed like more than $20 worth of drinks.
Yeah. But no, I don't have that kind of... I do understand the point of gambling. It's like, it's the attraction of destroying yourself or potentially becoming a monetary god.
That's why I write books.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, what was it? I told somebody once, it's like the whole writing the book thing. It's like, I got tired waiting for my ship to come in, so I figured I'd just build my own. Even if it's leaky, taking on water and in verge of sinking at any time, at least it's mine.
I mean, that still sounds a little bit too sensible for me. I like the idea of just me going to Las Vegas and go, oh, I'm not going to go gamble. I never win anything. Then getting really drunk and I'm waking up next door and go, why did I gamble all my money away? Now I have to prostitute myself to get home.
Like, you hear those stories about that person who goes there and they just take one $20 chip, throw it on the right number, and walk out a millionaire. And it's like, yeah, that's wonderful. That is not fucking me. I'm going to keep that 20, thank you. And probably spend that on whatever stupid place Drew drags us to.
Yeah, I'm not making any promises about responsible behavior at Vegas. Luckily, I don't have much money, so
yeah,
it won't be that much of a problem.
So the more tickets you buy and the more you fund our GoFundMe, likely the better those behind the scenes videos will be, because we will be that much less sober.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's a bunch of sad poor people sitting around going, so shall we maybe split a bottle of Mike's hard lemonade?
But if you would like, live footage of me crying in an alleyway because I was so sure that last roulette wheel spin was going to come in, but now I've got nothing and I've lost it all. Yeah, buy some tickets.
I'll be sucking dick for Bud Light.
I'll be like, I have my truck there. I can always sleep in the bed.
At least suck dick for a beer with some actual fucking alcohol content.
That costs money.
That's bad. I guess I'm not talking about quantities here. I guess if you get.
Oh, I am. That's how I do it.
Well, I mean, I figure drinking Bud Light probably tastes about the same as sucking dick. So.
Yeah, I mean, I did have in my head there one sucking dick for one beer, but that's not how currency works. So.
It's like, you could buy my book and I'll sign it, or you could buy my book and I'll suck your dick. And I'll sign both. If you give me a Bud Light.
Not a Bud Light. Come on, Steve's working for one beer a suck. Like you said, I'm working for 7.
Yeah, well, my beer's going to be really good.
Yeah, mine's going to last longer.
I'm wondering how many people are going to be listening to this and just going to show up and just going to be the unspoken code of they're handing you a Bud Light.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people show up. It's like, do you listen to the podcast? No. I mean, I just heard there was some kind of exchange going down here.
I figure I could go to Area 51 and get shot, or I could come to this place, hand this guy a Bud Light, and get my dick sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to do both. I mean, I'm going to die. I have to get my dick sucked. If it's only I had 4 Bud Lights. That's why I heard. Sensible.
I will be very disappointed if one of our readers does not show up with a "We'll suck your dick for a Bud Light" sign.
Listen, guys. The last time, I don't suck dick for singular Bud Light.
Bud Light.
But what about for a Kirkland Light?
Fuck no. Bud Light's well more expensive than that. I mean, you have to give me 20 Kirkland Lights.
Kirkland Light's rare now. It's like it's like somebody handing you like a diamond that they just dug up, except not.
You were once again misunderstanding Bevan's attraction to Kirkland Light.
Yes.
It wasn't brand loyalty. It was just the cheapest, most copious beer he could find at the time.
It was a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Ah.
He's a pragmatic dude. He's not... you think, he's a writer. He's one of those artsy types. No. He's got his fucking head screwed on straight.
God damn, that would have been something. Costco would still be selling that shit if they had just paid Bevan the couple bucks to take a picture of him and just be like, and just have the caption in the subway, "I'd suck a dick for a Kirkland Light."
Our case. Man, 48 beers for like $21.
Or one blowjob. Yes. No, I can understand the attraction. It's going to be a hell of a convention. All right. Did we talk about the 80s and Stranger Things as much as we wanted to? Was there anything that occurred to us while we were talking about blowjob Kirkland Light ratios?
Jacking off to Winona Ryder drinking a Bud Light.
Nice.
Doesn't-
My evening plans.
Yeah, why not? All these people spend all these fucking millions of dollars on these original content, so we're very easily entertained. Media, Netflix. If you want to know what to plow your money into, just, all we really want to do is masturbate to Winona Ryder while drinking a Bud Light.
Or while she's drinking a Bud Light, that's good too.
Yeah, that's worth $8.99 a month.
All right. Well, I think we gotta beat that horse into the ground, or beat off that horse into the ground.
Yeah, so this has been a side quest. I hope you've all been watching Stranger Things. I suppose we should have mentioned this about an hour ago, but spoiler alert, talking about some things that happened in Stranger Things. Spoiler alert, if you were put into a coma in 1977 and didn't experience the 80s, spoiler alert, it's going to be the Authors and Dragons Con very soon. Are you going to be there? Have you packed enough clean underwear? Do you have your Bud Light ready for exchange? I'm excited.
Yes, and I think some of our readers are going to be excited too. I'm
saying if you did buy a box of Kirkland Light, you tried one, and you still got the rest of the box there, yeah, I'll give you a little leeway.
We all know what leeway means. Yes, so join us next week for our usual adventure, ramping up to that magic golden 100th episode, live in Las Vegas, September 20th. If you can make it, please do. But in the meantime, this has been a side quest, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.